feelings tingling, the blood coursing through these players' veins, I'm quite sure. The adrenaline surging, and I'm equally sure they would like to get on with this. Well, that rising roar around Hampden Park is the anticipation of something like 60,000 throats getting ready for the first ever cup final between Hearts and Aberdeen, on a day that we hope matches the splendid weather we're now at least temporarily having. And that is a very strong wind that Hearts are facing. There's no question about that. And the free kick in the first 15 seconds. Gary Mackay. That's a very useful ball. Whittaker picking it up. Both teams wanting a very good start to this match. And there's the coolness of Willie Miller. Very quickly taken by Black. And in goes Cooper, Neil Cooper, driving in. Ten players in the Aberdeen team have already won winners' medals. So they certainly have shown the road to the Cup winners' rostrum. Peter Weir. Little bit of space for him, Robertson going back. You will already have observed that they've had to change shirts, Hearts, because of the clash of colours, playing in their reserve strip. Silvery grey. And the only support we can hear at the moment are the Hearts supports. They're packed under the enclosure. They have the wind at their backs. That might be a bit too strong. McLeish. Of course, the central defence has a very good understanding with Jim Leighton. Built up steadily over the years. Henry Smith's first touch of the ball. Jordan. Mackay. Whittaker. Mackay driving forward. Robertson may try one. Good interception there. Kimmy was in very quickly. And Weir. Tommy McQueen. Miller. McDougall. Oh, beautiful gliding little touch there by McMaster. The pass too strong. McMaster thus early showing a little cool in midfield. Yes, pretty hard on Sandy Clark, free kick. Sandy Clark, nothing will stop him all the same. He likes a game like that. If the going gets rough, he can withstand it. Neil Berry right in that penalty area. It's an up and under. Kimmy a bit nervy. Oh, lovely little touch there by Cahoon, and it's a corner kick. Well, Andy, although Hearts are playing against a strong wind, they've certainly taken the initiative.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. They've certainly started the game in a very good manner, very positive, going straight at Aberdeen. And you must compliment them for that approach.
And the corner kick, and they're finding it troublesome to keep that ball in. Wind blew it away, and that's Black. Rules a very good corner. Another one. Hearts supporters will love this. Jim Leighton doesn't. Must be a nervy moment for Jim. High quality though he is, he's been off for such a spell, and he's testing the Hampden swirl. Oh yes, pushing Miller that time. Free kick. Hewitt comes in. McDougall goes to the left. John Hewitt will try the shot on. He does, and he scored! Brilliantly! John Hewitt, the super sub, the man who scored in Gothenburg, puts Aberdeen in the lead in, just about 5 minutes. 1-0. A superbly struck left foot shot. And he wants more. Now look at the way he dragged the ball towards defence, chose the precise moment to release an unsavable shot. Now from this angle, the high quality of goalkeeping that Henry Smith possesses had no chance. That is accuracy at its best. Away goes Cahoon in one of these typical busts of his. Great run by the wee man. A neat chip, but well watched there. Cooper up to it, Berry. Black. Clark, it's a good opening. And there is Cahoon, and he's offside. Oh yes, Andy, full credit to Hearts. They're not lying back. They've refused to buckle this early.
Oh, very good John Cahoon there, good right-wing attack. And he showed great composure there on the edge of the penalty box, chipping the ball in, and it was a bit unfortunate that the ball didn't break for Hearts there.
Yes, well, just a little bit unfortunate he got into that offside area. Throw to Hearts. About 12 minutes of the first half gone. There's a scoreline at the moment. That wonderful goal by John Hewitt. Looked like pushes it. No, referee waves the play on, and Hearts fighting like furies again. Bet. Hewitt, a little bit slow as Mackay came in. I think it's always wise, Andy, for defenders to show that they're not under pressure.
Yes, that's certainly true there. Alec McLeish was just simply taking the heat out of the game there, because obviously Hearts have been trying to raise the pace. And at this stage in the match, obviously Aberdeen just want to settle things down, make a few passes and build on the lead that they have.
And a free kick. Henry Smith trying to organise his defence. Remember, a man has worked hard for his pay packet this season as Henry. Willie Miller himself taking it. Up goes McLeish. Lovely run forward by the big central defender. Those giraffe-like legs of his pounding into that area. Hearts are also looking straight into the sun, and he gets the free kick for the first tackle, I think. Free kick to Aberdeen.
Well, Peter Weir's beginning to push forward more onto the left-hand side here, and that's in fact where the free kick came from. John McMaster, an excellent user of the ball. He's toying around here whether he's going to play it short or not. In fact, he's decided to do that and let Peter Weir run at them.
Weir. Oh, it's a good ball, McDougall. That was a very good move technically, Andy.
Yeah, that was excellent there. I mean, they delayed, obviously, and Hearts went flat-footed, and then suddenly Aberdeen made the through pass. They very nearly caught them out there.
Well, Aberdeen are renowned for this hesitant, almost a vague-looking way they approach a free kick, when in fact they're not. The very opposite. Up goes the linesman's flag, it's offside. All of those amongst you who are lip readers can make up your minds, but don't phone in. I'll use my imagination to work that one out. Oh, beautiful piece of play by Jordan. We'll be watching Sandy Jordan, who initially brought that move up there. Gary Mackay took over. Watch him doing that for 20 years. It's much a bad one by Jordan that time. It's a fatal thing for a commentator from time to time to build a personality up. It really is. Robertson. Weir wants to go for Kidd as well. Berry's with him and pulls him back. Yes, free kick. Seems to me, Andy, as if Weir does really want to have a go at this defence.
Oh yes, there's no doubt about that. In fact, he's very important to Aberdeen here, especially at this stage in the game, that they can feed him with the ball and let him run it at the Hearts defence. He looks very much in the mood.
Broken up neatly though by Sandy Jordan and Kidd. Jordan. Free kick. Clumsy tackle that time by McQueen, and the free kick, I think, was taken far too quickly. Well, John Cahoon, I think, is being spoken to by the referee for complaining about that. Hugh Alexander so far has been firm but largely unobtrusive. Mackay, he can hit them in when he decides to turn it back. Jordan, it's Mackay. They tried that time. It really has a very powerful shot. Free kick. And just every now and again you get the impression of this Aberdeen defence that they're defending, in fact, rather desperately, you know, maybe slightly taken aback by the way that Hearts have responded to going one goal down so early. Free kick. Cooper right in the way, out they come, here's John Robertson with a chance, and he scored! Oh, it looked like in the net from here. That is incredible. From our angle, that ball looked to be sailing into the net. Well, it came off of this, and it really was a marvellous chance. Floated in Robertson, and watch this. Up it goes, and it looked as if it was dripping into the net, and in fact it was the other side. Well, Aberdeen have had that dream start, and I must say, after that goal, I thought they would simply reinforce their position, but that they haven't done. As Andy said, they're playing some very good possession football, or trying to play it. Came off just in these last few minutes for them, but Hearts still with a kind of inspirational quality about them. Bent in a beautiful position. Can he part with a right? He does almost. Still in play, and there it's over the top, and that was a brilliant break, Andy.
Yes, that was a first-class break there, coming from left through to right, and a good cross from Jim Bett. And just it was the deflection, in fact, that knocked the ball away. That was a very, very good break from Aberdeen.
Now, Bett is renowned for this good positioning.
Yes, he's a marvellous forward runner, Jim Bett. And here we see him just taking the touch and playing in the cross. And you'll see here just a slight deflection from Whittaker, and it was enough just to knock the ball up in the air and cause a problem at the back post. If he hadn't got that touch, then there was every chance that Aberdeen would have scored another one there.
And I would suspect that if Aberdeen scored another goal at this stage, you could say almost ta-ta to the rest of the game. Black. Support from Whittaker. Oh, that's dangerous. That's a good one from McQueen. Now it's Weir, as McKimmie had picked that up. Peter Weir, crowded out by the Hearts defence. They got back very quickly, and that came from Whittaker. Playing it very dangerously across the back. Well, poor Henry Smith. Simply could not get that first one. Berry. Robertson. Clark. Picked up by Black. Here's Clark, nice touch. Good recovery though by Bett. It looked as if Clark had done the body swerve on him, but Bett, last minute tackle, proved that he had not got away. Little nod of recognition to Whittaker. Very close, offside. Ryan Whittaker, ex-Partick Thistle, ex-Celtic, was wanted by various teams on the continent in the past. Never quite got there. Forest East, Tynecastle. Hewitt gives in, so does McKinney, and Adderley too strong. Stuart McKinney, who's come into international reckoning as well, of course, in the past season. Well, can do without that unpleasantness. Although, as you say, it's a man's game, you get that occasionally. Cleese. Just whipped away and free kick. I'll tell you what, we are blessed with the weather at this stage. I mean, we've been standing out there, Andy, have we not? And the rain's been lashing down, and you've been complaining about danger money that you're not going to be claiming to be paid by the BBC. But the wind is still troublesome.
Oh yes, there's no doubt the wind's troublesome. That's certainly true.
Very bad ball into the middle. McDougall handled. And I think Neil Berry said something. Is he being booked? Yes, he is. Second Hearts player to be booked. Arguing with the referee. This is always futile. Miller. Levine. Game going through a little flat period with 2 minutes of the first half remaining. Up comes McKinney. Good surging run there by McKinney. Seeing the opening and heading for it. Oh. Certainly a risky pass by Sandy Jardine. Well, it's a good ball indeed, Gary Mackay. Goal now would help Hearts. Scores, and that's almost an own goal. That really bothered the Aberdeen defence. Although Willie Miller doesn't look flustered. I think he's camouflaging his anxiety. That was an excellent ball. Watch what Miller had to do, screwing round at it. And perhaps that was a deceptive angle. I think it was nearer than that. However, corner kick. A minute of this half remaining. Up goes Leighton. And that didn't bother him at all. Hewitt, I don't think will get this. He did very well indeed. He's having a fine game. Try to curl it in. Virtually on the half-time whistle, it should go any second, and it does. Aberdeen are leading Hearts by 1-0. Goal scored by John Hewitt in the 5th minute of the game, and quite excellent goal. So at the start of the second half, Aberdeen 1 up, facing a very strong wind and the sun, and they have realised that even though they took an early lead, Hearts refused to lie down to it, and indeed looked a very inspired team at times. And it really is good to see a performance like this. Aberdeen containing more artistry in the team, I suppose, and balance, and away go Hearts. And well, I think that's a bit unfortunate. This Robertson, I suppose, technically was in an offside position, but the ball hadn't actually been played forward to him. But it is offside, that's what the referee decided. Dougal. Whittaker. Bet. Cooper. That's McDougall. Jim Bet. Pulling out the defence. Berry. Not making a very good job of this now. Peter Weir. Late his tackle on him, and there's Bet. John McMaster going in for that. Ends up on a pass to Weir. Edis of body swerves. That's a shot. And from that distance, never any trouble for Henry Smith.
It looks as if John McMaster, in fact, has pulled a hamstring, which would be a major blow to Aberdeen because he's been playing such a steady game in the midfield for them.
Well, Andy, how would you... as the ball went away, I didn't quite spot what he was complaining about.
Yes, well, he went into the tackle there and there was a collision and he went down. I don't think it was so much the tackle, I think it was just the way he landed.
Yeah. Well, I think McDonald has been up and down on that bench like a jack in the box, expending as much energy as some of the players on the field. It's been a hard week for him. Just limping ever so slightly. Jordan. Well, always difficult. Pass back into the sun. Leighton making some kind of comment about it. Oh, beautifully flicked by Hewitt. He's having a superb game for Aberdeen today. Weir. Walter Kidd. There's a dummy, there's a goal. 2-0. John Hewitt, a superb goal by Aberdeen. Beautifully, technically executed, and the rippling red and white harvest of support, acknowledging a superb piece of play. And that could be the goal that kills off Hearts. A really tenacious run here by Weir. The beautiful little dummy. And excellently finished. His second goal. Aberdeen are 2 up, and we've only gone 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes exactly for that goal. And no wonder, even from that distance away, they realise the journey has been worthwhile. Andy.
Yeah, I see Aberdeen are now bringing on Billy Stark. That was certainly a marvellous goal there. Peter Weir, a great run to the line. At one point must be made there about McDougall. McDougall has been running unselfishly today, dragging men all over the park in order to allow Hewitt the freedom. And that's precisely what happened at the goal. A great dummy from McDougall, and Johnny Hewitt was on to the end of it.
Well, I mean, realistically, I don't want all the Hearts supporters to be turning off, but they really do have a major problem now, Andy.
Oh yes, it's a real uphill climb now. It's an Everest they're going to have to climb. But there's a long time still to go in the game, and obviously if Hearts could get back in with a goal fairly soon, then who knows.
But they really need a goal. Hearts really need a goal to make a game of it in the next 5 or so minutes.
I thought for a moment there Alec was going to take a game himself, Alec McDonald.
Clark. Corner kick. Now, can they hit back right away? A good corner, a good strike. And they're in with a chance again. McMaster is off, as Andy had suspected. Maybe that injury wasn't as slight as we thought. There's Stark, the substitute. Not a bad substitute to come on either. Whittaker is up there, and so is Leighton. Now the long legs of Alec McLeish in the outside right position. Wonders will never cease. Not a bad cross, Alec. Here's Bett. Oh, has he gone too far? No, he hasn't. Gets a corner. Excellent play by Aberdeen. Look at the way they broke in that rather unconventional manner by McLeish. And then little dart forward there by Jim Bett. There's McLeish. McDougall. Willie Miller feels for the penalty. Miller tries to go up again. Aberdeen trying to turn the screw now. Both central defenders up on attack. And the free kick as Clark went forward. It's all so very frantic out there in the last couple of minutes. And Aberdeen, I think, were going for the real killer punch there. Goal kick. As you said earlier, Andy, Willie Miller likes to come forward a lot now. He's a very good player for suddenly popping up, and I think that has been seen more evident as he's grown older, but McLeish was up as well there.
Yes, that's true. They're both very good at breaking from the back. One thing that both of them are doing in the game, though, is that they're pushing the back four fairly tight into their midfield, and this is denying Hearts space now. The other thing they're doing is beginning to throw the ball around the field, and they're really making Hearts run.
And this is where the events of the last week will tell perhaps in Hearts, except they have shown over and over again they've got great reservoirs of courage. Clark, can he flick it through? He does to Robertson. Can he get his shot in? No, he goes too wide. And if you go too wide, you end up with Miller down your neck. Clark gets a corner, and they're still fighting on. I don't think they've ever lost sight of trying to satisfy the appetite of that huge support of theirs who've waited for so long for success. Corner kick. Ooh, Leighton didn't like that. I think it went straight through. Goal kick. Now then, lecturing the referee. About fitness in a goalkeeper, Andy, I know it was a hand injury and I know he kept fit, but if he's out of game atmosphere, I think he perhaps becomes a bit rusty.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm sure that Jim's been back in training and got his eye in, and I don't really, I mean, he hasn't really been exposed today, so it's difficult for us to make a judgment on that. But I'm very, very happy, as I said to you earlier on, that he's playing in today's game with the World Cup coming up. It's a vital match for Jim.
10 minutes gone of this second half. Aberdeen still in the lead by 2-0. And I may say, are looking more and more confident. More a slip than anything else. Clark.
Aberdeen have now changed their tactics. They've got Neil Cooper playing the anchor role in front of the back four. McKimmy's gone into full-back, and with Stark on the right-hand side and Bett on the left. So this is the great thing about Aberdeen's squad. They're so flexible that they can constantly change their tactics.
Now Bett. Lovely little break by Bett, and he can't get it to the side. Great piece of covering there by Neil Berry. That is what he's so very good at. Oh. I wonder what Neil Simpson had in mind there. Maybe he knew somebody in the crowd who wanted a ball. Danny goes to the side, up comes the captain. Well, that's a lovely shot. Oh, great run by the captain, Walter Kidd. Oh, a little bit of anger there, and there's Willie Miller, the old one, against the young one, and he's very annoyed about something. I mean, you should get a lawyer in on that. And that was a very good effort by the Hearts captain. Why was Willie Miller so perturbed about that, Andy? Come on.
Well, that's what good teams are all about. They have leadership on the park, and there's no way Willie Miller was going to let McQueen off with anything there. So it's very important if you've got a team of nice boys, you win nothing. And in this case here, Willie Miller being very aggressive with his young left back. It's necessary.
But actually had to be restrained. Feathered figure, of course. This McQueen, he's learned his lesson, he's sticking in anyway. Whoops, free kick. Well, a wigging off from his feather, and he responds. So there's Bett to the side to Willie Miller, who's decided to come up towards Stark, and harmlessly plodding past. Billy Stark, a very useful player. Again, the kind of player that has fitted so well into Aberdeen's plans. Flexible kind of player. Pushed by Clark, I think. Craig Levein will be quite content to let that go over. Craig Levein, one of the prime assets surely for Hearts' future, and I hope, everybody hopes, that a team like Hearts, club like Hearts, can hold on to a young player of inestimable talent. Got a bit of style about him, Craig, as well, as being a stalwart in defence. Oof, Alec McLeish shaking his head. I think he'd been hit by a tank. Stark, a little bit slow. You just get the impression now that Aberdeen are containing the game and will go forward whenever is necessary and appropriate, Andy.
Yes, that's certainly true now. Neil Cooper is beginning to dominate in that midfield area there, posing Hearts a problem. Obviously, Hearts will gradually begin to lose the edge that they had early in the game when they were running around at 100 miles an hour. Sandy Clark certainly has been doing his best here to try and stir them up, though. A great leader's job up front there. But they desperately now need a break, Hearts. I mean, you cannot fault them in any way for commitment, but they desperately need something to happen for them in the front area of the field.
And they're pressing forward. There was a loud shout for a penalty there, but the referee turned away from it. And here's Bett picking up in that loose position. He's made already several darting runs in the second half, and Weir gave up on that. Just got away with it. Except the tackle was late, and I think Sandy Clark realises it. Acknowledges that. Great competitor, Clark. Played in a cup-losing side with Rangers, of course. Watch round the back, and John Hewitt in sharply. Now, John Hewitt is on the verge of an interesting record. There have only been two hat-tricks in finals. Jimmy Quinn for Celtic against Rangers in 1904, and Dixie Deans for Celtic against Hibs in 1972. So he could be the third man in the book with a long way to go yet. We've only gone 16 minutes in the second half. Here's McQueen. Gets a corner. Tended to run away from the ball there.
Once again there, though, Archie, we had the sight of John Robertson making a 40-yard run to shut off Aberdeen in an attacking position.
Peter Weir. Not quite cleared yet. McDougall coming after it. Trying to find Billy Stark, and he does. Oh, good play by McDougall. I mean, the obvious pass was to push it to the outside, and he went in the reverse direction and found the big man inside. There's where he decided to change his mind. Go kind of southeast this time, and away up towards the head of Stark, and that was not far away. Jordan. Whittaker. Useful ball, Clark, and he lay it back. Gary Mackay tries to get in. Still fighting. Gets a corner, though. And Hearts putting as many players forward as they could there. A sign of courage again on their part, and I don't think being reckless. They've really, in a sense, nothing to lose trying to get players up there. They've got to be that bit cautious at the back, but there is a corner. And the ball was moving. Still moving. Almost ended up in Croft foot. Now, it looked as if Gary Mackay was being apprehended for a minute there from that angle, as if to say, now here, sir. Bad corner kick and all that. There's a touch, and there's a ball! Unbelievably bad luck. Still there, Clark can't get it in, whipped away. Oh, they badly needed that. Very badly needed the goal there. It floated in, and there it was, flicked up. The shot by Berry almost broke the bar. At 19 minutes remaining. You can always hear the Heart support, though. And that was a late tackle, I think, yes. Just as the play departed from that scene and we followed it, Robertson went straight in. Was in off the ball, and the referee is taking a serious view of this. The game has been a very sporting one. It's been just the occasional little flare-up, but nothing very much. But that was very, very late indeed. Number 5, I think he's indicating. And he's booked. Now, we can see what happened here as Cooper went in. There was the very late tackle. In fact, that was a display quite clearly of anger and frustration. And perhaps he's even lucky to stay in the field for that. bit of a collision, misunderstanding. That's a better attack. That gay abandon that Andy was talking about seems to have taken over in Hearts, throwing the ball about well. Always giving the impression they can fight back into this game. And the captain, a great example to them. Theodore on his own, virtually. There's McDougall. Now he needs a bit of pace here, and he's brought down late. Some of the tackles a bit frantic now, and I think the referee may be taking a very stern attitude. The one thing I did discern earlier on, well, we'll talk about it in a minute, as the play starts again with a free kick. Here's McQueen. Kiruia. A tantalising little shuffle of his. Throw to Aberdeen. Free kick, yes. I don't think the Hearts players can complain about that one. As I said, this man there, Walter Kidd, he's been a great example to his side. I know he's been booked, but, you know, that can happen in a cup final. He is a hard but fair player, and he's been driving them on in the second half. Oh, there's a third one. Billy Stark. 3-0 for Aberdeen, and that is the cup final well and truly finished, I think, as far as Hearts are concerned, and the celebration for Aberdeen, with only 15 minutes remaining, will go on from now until Monday morning, I suspect, as Billy Stark picks up the killer goal. And it was beautifully done by Stark, launching himself and the ball catapulting into the net.
Also, actually, two magnificent runs to the front post there from Cooper and McLeish, which took the Hearts defence away, and the ball bypassing them, and a great finish from Stark. That's two headed goals from him 2 weeks running, but obviously this one is far more important, and he's won at Clydebank.
That's a scoreline, a very impressive one, and no doubt all the people in the northeast watching this programme right now will have joined in the celebrations, rightly so. Aberdeen, even though in the second half they were in front, took the full fury of a fighting Hearts team, withstood it. They were technically, I think, a superior side to Hearts, more individual flair, and they remained cool. It's paid off. Berry. Oh, took it like a rugby fullback. Andy.
And Joe Miller now on for John Hewitt, so that's John Hewitt lost the chance of this record that you talked about, Archie. He took a heavy tackle there just before the last goal. John Hewitt has been outstanding in the match, not only in terms of the goal-scoring side of it, but also in the way he was used as a target man. He had a fantastic match there for Hearts, for Aberdeen.
Well, we must have a word with the Aberdeen manager about his substitutions after this. Fine young player in Joe Miller off. That'll be a booking. Mackay very late with that. No, there's a bit of games we should have gone on here. It's all been a bit unpleasant in the last few seconds. So, 4 Hearts players booked. And it looks to me as if he's booking the Hearts captain, and if that's the case, he's off. Isn't that tragic? What a sad ending to a player who's given his all for his club this afternoon. But if he's broken the rules, then off he has to go without any sympathy. Now, what do you make of this situation for the Edinburgh side? 3-0 down, reduced to 10 men. I doubt even if a succession of miracles would save them. Now, I hope none of the other players lose the control here. Out of exasperation and frustration. There's late tackle there by Ben. I think the sheer momentum of the player going through caused that. Here's Berry. Corner kick, and they're still fighting. Look at the way he's trying to get the ball back into play again. Corner kick. I make it 11 minutes left. Clark almost getting there. Joe Miller. Black. Miller right in the way. Miller, oh, brilliantly done by the youngster. Great tackle by Berry. Well, Hearts have been full of this all season. I mean, they really want to go places, and it looks as if they're going to have one of the most disappointing seasons in their history in coming so near yet so far. And yet we will never forget them for their attitude to the game, which has provided a renaissance for Edinburgh football. Great run forward again by Cahoon, but Aberdeen are the match of this now. And there's so little time left for Hearts. 10 minutes remaining as McLeish picks it up. This is McKimmie drifting forward. He'll try the shot, and it wasn't. Far away. Just got slightly underneath it, but had the right intentions. Saw the gap in the Hearts' defence as he went forward. Probably see him just chipping at it more than anything else. And there it was, underneath it, and all was going up.
After the sterile European Cup final, actually, this just underlines what football's all about here. This is about excitement and flair and imagination and, above all, drama.
And that drama, I think, and all credit to Hearts, they have made a game of it. I cannot stress this enough, that to lose a goal so early in a cup final after the disappointing week they had, a lot of us suspected that if that had happened, they would have folded. Not a bit of it. 3 goals down and they're still fighting, and that is exactly what Andy is suggesting makes this cup final so different and so human as compared to what we saw in midweek. Gary Mackay in hard. Good turn there by Tommy McQueen. There's McDougall. Bet. High square by Cooper. Willie Miller comes forward. It's 4 against 3. Now Stark. A disappointing ball by Stark. No real control over that final pass. Clark, Robertson. Weir, Bet. Aberdeen playing it around with style now. Bet. Oh, beautiful pass by Ben Stark. Trying to turn inside, almost gets there. Studious play there by Jim Bett. All about timing the final pass. Oh, that's Slag and Hearts looking slightly depressed at the moment. Here's McDougall, allowing players to come up on him. Joe Miller. Cooper. Peter Weir. He has Berry there. Gets it in. This must be another one. It is. No, it's been disallowed. It is not a goal. The referee saying offside, I think. Oh no, a push. She's indicating a push. Still 3-0. Joe Miller it was who pushed. Here's Weir. Bett goes in front of him. Bett has played a very useful role in this latter part of the match. It's a free run almost for McQueen. In that shadow there, and into the sun, and there's Stark, and it's a side net. And Aberdeen are playing now, Andy, as if the game is well and truly won. Well, it was after that third goal, but now they're demonstrating it clearly.
Oh, yes, there's no doubt about that. I mean, it's just sheer professionalism now from Aberdeen. Making great passes and great forward runs. People like McKimmie and Cooper and so on have been making forward runs, even Willie Miller. So obviously Hearts are still trying, but the game is now well away from them, obviously.
And a fairly bruising tackle there by Sandy Clark, ends in handshakes. Willie Miller takes that. Danny Mackay. Whittaker. Beautifully picked up by Bett. Now the counter-attack, and he's a specialist in this. Joe Miller brought it down well, even though the wind bothered him. And Sandy Jardine, his timing to perfection. Right to the end, there's only 4 minutes of this 1986 Scottish Cup final remaining. And young Joe Miller from Lanarkshire Schools football with this corner. Gary Mackay. I don't think there was any serious intent in that. It's really accidental.
That's a new one for the coaching manual, that, a 1-2 off the referee.
And I can announce that the man of the match, Mr. Superfoot Award, has been won by John Hewitt of Aberdeen. No wonder. A couple of goals that effectively won the cup for the Dons, and here is Black. Sandy Clark. And it's the Aberdeen supporters we're hearing now. Dougal, Stark, Neil Berry, Clark, Cahoon, floated away towards that far post. It's a goal kick. Yes, a quite extraordinary game here. We knew it would be an enormous challenge for Hearts, because when I saw them during the week, they were contending with two different things. One, depression after losing the championship, and secondly, they had a debilitating bug which swept through the club, and some of the players were distinctly unfit. Well, they've been fit today, but what I think has won it is the technical discipline of Aberdeen, the great experience in those little individual busts that have made the difference between lead and dross and lead and gold. And most deservedly, the cup is going yet again to Pittodrie. a couple of minutes. And the referee will be putting the final seal on this. It's a matter of waiting it out now. Aberdeen know it, Hearts know it, and both sets of supporters. Robertson with the shot, whistling pass. We're watching the referee, and there it goes, the final whistle. Aberdeen have won the 1986 Scottish Cup final. We now await the Aberdeen players going up. And by the way, let me repeat that John Hewitt is Mr. Superfit. There's the provost of Aberdeen there, I think. Yes, it is. Just beside the provost of Glasgow. And up comes Willie Miller. And there, Willie Miller. This is the fourth time he's held that cup aloft. Jim Leighton, the man who came back, didn't mind smiling into the cameras minus a tooth, and hugs very safely, I may say, the plinth. The Aberdeen supporters who have travelled down all this distance are now beginning to think they should book a permanent place on those terracing slopes at Hampden Park. The man who meant so much for that second goal, Peter Weir, Frank McDougall and Billy Stark, scorer of the third goal. McKimmie, Stuart McKimmie, Jim Bett, Neil Cooper, the youngster Joe Miller. Nice to see the Lanarkshire boy we knew getting a medal. And Mr. Superfit, John Hewitt.